Yeah, good morning everyone. In the last class we have seen what is Maven, how to create Maven project and how to execute Maven goals also. What is Maven and what is the purpose of Maven? Maven is a build tool developed by Apache organization. Maven is developed using Java and Maven is free software. Maven is used to automate build process of the project. By using Maven, we can create the project folder structure. We can download required dependencies. We can add the dependencies, the project build path, compiling the code, executing the test cases, packaging our project as a jar file or war file. And we have done Maven setup. Maven terminology also we understood. Can you please tell me what is archetype in the Maven? What is archetype in the Maven? Template. What type of project you want to create, that you can specify by using Maven. Archetype. Quick start. Nothing but standalone project. Web app. Nothing but web application. What is the group ID? What is the group ID in the Maven? Group ID represents organization name. Group ID represents organization name. What is artifact ID? Artifact ID represents project name. What is the version? Which version of the project we are developing? Snapshot, release. Snapshot means under development. Release means development completed. What is the packaging? The project packaging will be available as a jar file or war file. Quick start means standalone application. Web application means war file. What is the Maven goal? Maven goals are used to perform the build process, clean, compile, test, package, install. Like that, we are having several goals in the Maven. Right. After that, we have seen what are Maven repositories. Can you tell me what are the Maven repositories? Maven repository means a place where all the jars will be stored. How many types of repositories available for Maven? In the Maven, we are having 3 types of repositories. What are those 3 types of repositories? One is a central repository, second one remote repository, third one local. What is the meaning of central repository? Who will maintain central repository? Central repository maintained by Apache organization. All the libraries that are required to develop Java application will be available in the central repository. Central repository maintained by Apache organization. Remote repository will be maintained by company. Remote repository will be maintained by company. So why we need to go for remote repository? So these are used for shared libraries in multiple projects in the company. So one company want to use some jar files within the company. So the company specific jar files will be available in the remote repository and the central repository will be maintained by Apache organization. Then what is local repository? Local repository will be created in our system. So that is .m2. So first time, whenever we add a new dependency, it will be downloaded from the central repository and it will be added to local repository. Are you able to follow this? Yeah, fine. Now here, Maven practice we are doing. We are having one Maven application and this application having form.xml. Okay, let me go with the form.xml. Open just once. See here, in this form.xml, JUnit dependency available, version 4.11. Where this dependency is available now? It is in the M2 directory. Let me go to C users admin.m2 repository. You can see JUnit available. In the JUnit, there are multiple versions available. Let me delete that JUnit dependency. From my M2, I have deleted JUnit. So that means in my local repository, JUnit dependency not available. Now, can I build my Maven project? Go to CMD and let me execute mvn clean package. What is the meaning of clean? Clean is used to delete the target folder, and I'm executing package. What is the meaning of the package? The project code will be compiled, test, and package will happen. MVN clean package execute. Now, when I execute MVN clean package, can you see here what it is saying? Downloading from central. First, it is set it for JUnit dependency in the local. That JUnit dependency not available in the local. Then it connected to central repository. It downloaded from central and it added to our local repository. Refresh here. Can you see now JUnit dependency downloaded? Earlier I have deleted. Now again it downloaded that JUnit dependency. So by default, it is searching for the dependency in the local. In the local, it is not available. Then it is downloaded from the central repository. Are you clear with my point? Now, I want to configure one dependency which is available in my remote repository. I logged in into my AWS account. In the AWS, I created one Linux machine. That machine name is Nexus Server. Okay, let me take the IP address of that machine. Let me log in into that machine. 8081 is the port number of the Nexus. Now, I'm trying to log in into my Nexus repository manager. Nexus is one software which is used to maintain remote repositories in the company. Some companies will go for Nexus, some companies will go for JFrog. Now, as a developer, you no need to understand how to create the Nexus, how to create the repository. That is the DevOps duty. Now I'm logging into my Nexus, my username and my password. This Nexus software is running in the Linux machine. This Linux machine is running in the AWS cloud. Now go to this Nexus, browse. So if you go for this, repositories will be available. Search, browse here, repository settings, repositories. 1 minute. Repositories. Yeah, can you see here Ashok IT release repository, Ashok IT snapshot repository, Ashok IT remote repository. So whatever the jar file, war file we are creating, if the project is under development, that jar or war will be uploaded to snapshot repository or release repository. Now here let me go for a repository called remote repository. In the remote repository, I have uploaded one jar file called password utils. This is my company specific jar file. This jar file should be accessed by only our company project. For this jar file, the dependency is created. I created the dependency for my project. Let me copy this dependency. This dependency along with the JUnit dependency, I'm adding my password utils dependency, group ID, artifact ID, version and dependency. I'm adding this dependency in the pom.xml. JUnit dependency available. My dependency is also available. So JUnit is a JUnit is a public dependency that will be available for everybody. JUnit is a public dependency available for everybody. What about this password utils dependency? It is my dependency available in my remote repository. Only my project should be able to access that. Now, let me add the dependency in the pom.xml. Let me execute Maven goal. Okay, MVN clean package. I'm trying to execute MVN clean package. What happened, sir? Build success or build failure? Build failure. Can you see what it is doing? Now, when I add some dependency in the pom.xml, first it is checking for the dependency in the local repository. The dependency available in the local or dependency not available in the local? Not available in the local. When the dependency not available in the local, what this Maven is trying to do? Maven is trying to download from the central repository. So is that dependency available in the central repository? That dependency not available in the central repository? Not available in the central. So my project is not able to download the dependency. No dependency information is available. Your project build process cannot complete. Build failure. So Maven knows about the local repository. Maven knows about the central repository. Maven don't know about my remote repository. My remote repository available in the Nexus. That Nexus software running in the Linux machine. That Linux machine available in the AWS cloud. Are you able to follow me? Now here, we need to tell to the Maven, it has to download the dependency from the remote repository. We need to configure remote repository details in the pom.xml. Able to follow me? Yes. How to configure remote repository details in the pom.xml? To configure remote repository details in the pom.xml, we need to add one tag called repositories tag in the pom.xml. What is the tag, guys? What is the tag we need to add? Repositories tag we are adding in the pom.xml. Which repository? Nexus. What is the URL of the Nexus? Let me take the public IP of my machine, 13.232.180.3. That is the IP address of my Nexus repository machine. So let me take that IP address and let me configure that IP address here. With this, I am configuring my remote repository details in the pom.xml. After adding the remote repository details, let us try to clean and package now. MVN clean package. Now I added remote repository details in the pom.xml file. Okay. So here MVN clean package. MVN clean package. What happened now? What happened now? Scanning for the project failed to execute. Failed to execute the goal on the project MyApp. Could not resolve the dependencies. Failed to read the artifact description from this. So from this Nexus server, it is not able to fail because of HTTP blocker. There is a HTTP blocker issue. Because of that issue, my Maven project not able to connect with the remote repository. How to resolve that problem? In order to resolve that problem, we need to remove that blocker. We need to remove that blocker and we need to configure Nexus server credentials in our Maven. Our Maven should connect to Nexus server. Where is that Nexus available? In the Linux machine. That machine will have some credentials, right? Username and password will be available. Now, let me take the server property. This is the ID and this is the username and this is the password of my Nexus. Let me take this server property. Go to Maven, where you have installed Maven in your system. See Apache Maven conf settings.xml. In the Maven path, there is a file called settings.xml. Go to settings.xml, edit this file, open with Notepad. When I open this Notepad file, there will be a tag called servers tag will be available. Inside the servers tag, I need to configure the username and the password of my Nexus. Inside the servers tag, we are configuring the username and password of the Nexus server. Along with that, HTTP mirror block will be available. We need to mention that also. Okay. Now, let me do the clean package once again. MVN clean package. Now, what it is saying that could not transfer artifact from Maven default HTTP blocker. Blocked mirror for repositories, default release plus snapshot. Failed to execute the goal on the project MyApp. 1 minute. Mirror Maven default HTTP blocker, external HTTP:* remote repository to external using initializing blocked true. Let me make the blocked as false. I'm setting the blocked to false. Right. Now execute it. MVN clean package. Still it is failed. Downloading from the blocker. Failed to execute the goal. Failed to read the artifact. Connection refused. No, that is the default localhost path it is taking. It has to download from the Nexus. 1 minute. Default HTTP blocker. One minute, guys. Nexus repository URL blocked false. Can you guys switch? Some people decide. I called them, sir. Today they will come and they will resolve. Both sides stopping. Yes, sir. I raised a ticket with them. Today we will see that. Mirror repository. 1 minute. Configuring the remote repository details. Ashok IT remote repository clean package. So some setting is missing in the settings.xml. Open with notepad. In the settings.xml, I configured my server details, that is username and password, and coming to the mirrors. Guys, 1 minute. Let me download Notepad++. I'm not understanding which line is commented, which line is not commented here. Download Notepad++. Sir, it must be a loose connection, sir. These many times it will not happen like this. Let me install Notepad++ to see that file. Yeah. So let me open this settings.xml, edit with Notepad++ now. Proxy server. In the server, I configure username and password. One minute. Guys, now see here, we are able to download the dependency from Maven central repository or remote repository. Now I have executed my Maven goal. Here I have executed a goal MVN clean package. When I execute MVN clean package goal, it is building my project, downloading from which repository? Is it central repository or is it remote repository? It is remote repository. It downloaded the dependency from the remote repository and our build got success. So how we are connecting from our Maven project to remote repository? If you observe, I made 2 changes in the project, guys. I made two changes to connect with the remote repository. One change I made in the pom.xml. Second change I made in the settings.xml. In the pom.xml, I configured the remote repository detail. And in the settings.xml, I configure the details of the remote repository plus remote repository credentials also I have configured. By using the credentials and by using that URL, this Maven project is connected to remote repository to download that jar file. Now let me show you what are the settings that I have done. So in the Apache Maven, we have conf directory. Inside the conf directory, there is a file called settings.xml. So edit this file. Now you can see the details what I configured. First one, in the settings.xml file, there is a tag called servers tag is available. Inside the servers, we are writing one more tag called server tag. In that server tag, what I am writing? ID, username and password. Three things I am writing inside the server. Then next one, there is another tag called mirrors tag. In the mirrors tag, I have a mirror tag. In that mirror tag, I configure the remote repository URL and I mentioned blocked is equal to false. Now my Maven project able to connect with the remote repository and it downloaded the dependency which is required for the project. After downloading the dependency, where the dependency will be available? The dependency will be available in the local repository. When the next time I want to use the dependency, is it going to download once again from the remote or it will be available in the local? It is available in the local. In the interview, they will ask a question. How to download the dependencies from the remote repository? How to download the dependency from the remote repository? Can you tell me how to download the dependency from the remote repository? Come on. How to connect to the remote repository, guys? To connect with the remote repository, we need to configure repository URL and repository credentials in the settings.xml. Where that settings.xml file available? In the Maven conf directory. Are you guys getting my point? Yes, fine. But in the course, we are not going, I have shown you how to download it, but we are not going to use that. But in the real time, 100% a project will use remote repository for the shared libraries. What is the meaning of repository? What is the meaning of repository? Repository is a place where we are going to maintain jar files of the, sir, can you call office boy once? Let me check it. Is there any loose connection? Why this many times it is going? Yeah. So meanwhile, so what is a repository, guys? What is a repository? Repository is a place where the project jar files will be maintained. So in the Maven, we are having three types of repository. Check loose connection connector దగ్గర ప్లగ్స్ చెక్ చేయ ఒకసారి అవి guys 2 minutes. గట్టిగా సెట్ చేయ చూడు. We have done the changes in our pom.xml and in the settings.xml to connect to the remote repository. So let me write a question. How to connect with the remote repository? How to connect with remote repository? Can you tell me the answer? How to connect with the remote repository? Yes, we need to do change, make the changes, configure remote repository details in settings.xml. Where that settings.xml file will be available? Settings.xml file will be there. Settings.xml file will be there in the Apache conf directory. It is available in Apache Maven conf directory. In that file, we need to make the changes. Then we can connect to the remote repository. Perfect. And one more thing, guys, there was one Maven goal that we did not discuss. What is that? Install. Remaining goals already we understood. So do you know what is the Maven clean goal? So what is the Maven clean goal? Clean is used to delete the target folder. What is the compile goal? Compile is used to compile the source code of the project. What is the test goal? To execute unit test cases of the project. What is the package goal? What is the package goal? Package goal is used to package our project as a jar file or war file. Now we have another goal called Maven install. There is another goal called Maven install. So what is the purpose of this Maven install goal? Maven install goal is used to store our project artifact into repository. What is the meaning of a project artifact? Whenever we package our application, a jar file will be created or war file will be created. That jar file or war file we want to upload into artifact server. Now we have seen password utils jar is available. Where is that jar file available? Is it in my local or it is in the remote? How it went to the remote repository? By executing install goal. If you want to upload your project artifact into Artifactory server, then we can go for Maven install goal. Now currently I did not configure that snapshot repository or remote repository. Now let me execute mvn clean install. I'm executing a goal mvn clean install. Now see here what happened. Whatever the project is available, that project is installed into my Maven local repository. Shall I stop for today then? If you want, then I will stop it. No, then I can't do anything, man. They have to come. Guys, there is some projector issue here. People not able to see that. Projectors are getting switched off for every 5 minutes. I will add that. I will add. Even if you add, you can't connect to that because my instance will be stopped. Right. I will add that information in the notes, guys. Okay. So what to do, guys? Shall I continue or shall I stop? Continue. Stop. Or else you can see from the mobile. You can log in from your mobile. Okay, then fine. I will stop for now. We'll continue in the today evening. I will call that repair person. Already I called them last week. So they told that they will come on Monday. So today they will try to resolve that issue. Okay, fine. Online people asking to continue. We'll continue tomorrow, guys. No problem. We'll continue tomorrow because here screens are getting switched off for every 1 minute. They are not able to see anything. I will stop it for now. we'll meet in the today evening session for the Spring Boot. Okay. Yeah. So as of now, we understood what is Maven, how to create a Maven project, how to add the Maven dependency, how to execute the Maven goal, and what is Maven repository, what is local, what is central, and what is remote. Even we understood how to connect from our Maven project to remote repository also by configuring the remote repository details in the settings.xml. Next one, there is a goal called install goal. What is the purpose of a Maven install goal? Maven install goal is used to upload our project into repository. It may be a local or it may be a remote. So whatever the project jar file or war file is creating, I want a backup of that project. Whatever the jar war is created, I want to upload the jar or war into my local repository or remote repository. For that, we are going to use MVN clean install. Whenever you execute MVN clean install, it will execute a compile, it will execute a test, it will execute a package, then it will execute install. You no need to execute a compile a test package when you are executing the install. When you execute the install, all the remaining goals also will be executed. Install is the topmost goal in the Maven. Clean will not be executed as part of install. Clean we have to execute separately. Compile plus test plus package plus install will happen when I execute install goal. You can see here, I'm going for MVN clean install. When I execute MVN clean install, what is happening? What is happening here? Clean is executed and compile is executed. Surefire. Surefire nothing but it is a test goal. So test is also part of the install. Then after what it executed, jar is executed. That means package is also executed. After package execution is completed, then it executed install. What is the meaning of that install? It is installing our project jar file to our local repository. See here, installing my project jar file. Where the jar file is available? Jar file is available in the target folder. From the target folder, that jar is uploaded to my local repository. In the real time, where we will upload the jar file? Into the RT factory server, either Nexus or JFrog. So with this, we are good with the Maven goals also. The next one is Maven multi-module project. If we discuss Maven multi-module project, then our Maven topic will be completed. Let's try to do it. Now, Maven multi-module nothing but trying to create a parent project with sub-projects. That is called as Maven multi-module. Now, I have several requirements in the project. Let's take an example of e-commerce application. We are having an e-commerce application. In the e-commerce application, several modules will be available. Cart module will be available. Payment module will be available. Reports module will be available. Admin module will be available. Cancellation module also will be available. So earlier, people used to develop a single project with all the functionalities, right? Monolith kind of thing. If we develop a single project with all the functionalities, then the project management will become very difficult. To avoid this problem, Maven introduced a concept called multi-module project. Introduced a project called multi-module project. So payment create as one project, right? Admin module create as one project, and tracking create as one project. Reports create as one project. For all these projects, one parent project will be available. Any common dependencies that are required for all the projects will be added in the parent project. And whenever you execute some goals on the parent project, automatically those goals will execute on the child project also. So that means creating a project with the parent-child relationship is called as Maven multi-module project. Are you guys getting my point? Yes. Now let me write it here. What is Maven multi-module project? What is a Maven multi-module project? Can you guys tell me what is a Maven multi-module project? creating the project with creating multiple projects with the parent-child relationship is called as Maven multi-module project. Creating projects with parent and child relationship is called as multi-module project. Is called as Maven multi-module project. What is the advantage of Maven multi-module project? Maintenance will be easy. When you execute a goal on the parent project, that will be applied for the child projects also. And remember, as of now, we are creating a project with the packaging type as a jar file or war file. For child projects, you can use jar or war, depends on the archetype. If it is a standalone project, it will be in the jar. If it is a web application, it will be in the war. Parent project should have packaging type as a POM. Parent project should have POM type. Parent project package should be POM format. Only parent project will be available as a POM. Child projects can be jar or war. Okay, now let me create a Maven project and let me show you how a Maven multi-module project is going to work. A small topic, guys, another 5 to 10 minutes, that's it. How to upload the remote repository. If you configure remote repository details, it will be uploaded. That repository URL. How I configure remote repository URL? Same way you need to configure snapshot repository, release repository URL. Then it will be uploaded to remote repository. Yeah. So someone asked that, right? Let me show you. Here in our pom.xml file, like this, we need to configure the repository URL. Either release repository or snapshot repository. When the project is under development, when you execute the MVN install goal, it will go to snapshot repository. When the project under development is completed, it will be uploaded to release repository. Like this, you need to configure repository details in the pom.xml. Got it? Fine. Now, let's see here. My IDE is opening. I want to create one Maven multi-module project. What is the meaning of a Maven multi-module project? What is the meaning of Maven multi-module project? Creating projects with a parent and child relationship is called as multi-module project. What is the advantage? Maintenance will be easy. Easily I can separate the requirements into multiple projects. So here projects will have parent and child relation. Parent project packaging will be POM. Child project can be jar or war also, right? So here, let me create a new project. Whenever we are creating a project, that packaging type you need to select as POM type. New Maven project. New other, let's go for Maven project. Next, simple project I'm creating. Next, group ID, in.ashok ID, artifact ID, you can give anything. So I'm giving as 01 parent app. I'm giving the name as 01 parent app. Here packaging type available. How many options are there? 3 options are there. Jar, war, POM. When to go for jar? When you are developing a standalone project as a child project. And when to go for war? When you are developing a web application type. Now I want to create a parent project. Parent project packaging type should be POM. Right, click on finish. So with this, we created one Maven parent project. We created one Maven parent project. Go to pom.xml, nothing is available. Just my group ID, my artifact ID, and my version is available, and packaging type available as a POM. So this is my parent project. Any dependency which is required for multiple child projects, instead of adding them in all the childs, we will add in the parent project. Right. Now I want to create a child project. Observe carefully. When you want to create a child project, you should not create that as a project. You need to create that as a module. Every child project is considered as one module of the parent. Payment module, admin module, transaction module. Like that, we need to create the child projects as module. How to create a module? Right click on the parent, new, other, go for Maven. What option we need to select? Maven module option we have to select. Click on next. Create this as a simple. What is the name you want for the module? I want to give the name as some payment. I want to give the module name as a parent. What is the parent for this? 01 parent application. Payment will be created as a module in the parent application. Click on next and click on finish. Now with this, payment is created. Payment is created. When the payment project is created, go to the pom.xml of the payment project. What available now? So here, payment project pom.xml is referring to the parent project. How it is referring to the parent project? By using parent tag. Let's go for parent project pom.xml. What it is referring? Module. So which one is the module available? Payment is a module. Similarly, can I create another module in the project? Yes. Right click, new, other, Maven module. This time I'm going for the module called reports module. I want to create it as a simple Maven project reports module. Click on next, click on finish. So with this, one parent project is created, two child modules are created. Now go to reports module pom.xml. What the reports module pom.xml is referring? Is it referring to the parent or not? My reports project also having a parent. My payment project also having a parent. Now check the parent pom.xml. It will have two modules. What is available now? There are two modules are available in the parent project. Now, when I execute some goals on the parent project, then what will happen? Let me go to my project location. Let me go to my project location. Here, Maven practice available. Sorry, the workspace is different, right? Workspace available. Here, parent application available. In the parent, payments available, reports available. Open pom.xml location command prompt. I'm opening my command prompt. So in this command prompt, I'm executing mvn clean package. So I'm pointing to which location, guys? It is pointing to which location? Parent application. Now, so when I do the payment application clean package, what it is doing? What it is doing? Is it doing the packaging only for the parent? It is doing the packaging for the child also. It is doing the packaging for the childs also. Now it is executing clean package. All the three projects got compiled and packaged. So what is the advantage with this? What is the advantage with this? We can easily separate the project in the multiple modules, right? So whenever you execute a goal on the parent project, the goals are reflecting to the child projects also. Able to follow me? Any questions? What is Maven multi-module project? What is Maven multi-module project? Creating a project with a parent and child relation is called as Maven multi-module project. Parent packaging type should be POM. In that, we are going to create the modules. So every child project will be considered as a module. Clear? Good. Next one. Guys, if you see, in the evening, we are creating spring projects, right? In the evening, we are creating a spring project. My 01 spring application is available. Let me do Maven update project. Any dependency, if it is not downloaded properly, I will do force update. Then Maven is going to download the dependencies. Can you see here, what are the dependencies available? AOP available, beans available, context, core, expression, JCL. But if you see our pom.xml, which dependency I have added? Only I have added context, but it is downloading only context dependency, or it is downloading other dependencies also? It is downloading other dependencies also. What is that concept is called? That concept is called as transduce dependency management. The dependency is called as transdue dependency management. With this transdue dependency management, one advantage is available, one disadvantage is also available. Are you guys getting my point? In the interview, they will ask a question, what is transdue dependency management? When we add one dependency in the pom.xml, for that dependency, whatever is required, Maven will download everything. When I want to use the context, I want core plus beans also and AOP also. Maven downloaded all the dependencies. What is the advantage? By adding one dependency, we are able to get multiple jar files required for the project. That is the advantage. Less configuration. I no need to specify, I want core, I want context, I want AOP, I want beans. Am I specifying all the dependencies or I am specifying only one dependency? One dependency. But how many jars are downloaded? Is it downloading only one jar or it is downloading multiple jars? It is downloading multiple jar files. That is called transdue dependency. Now let us see what is the disadvantage. Now in this project, it is downloaded AOP jar file. Can you guys tell me what is AOP? What is AOP? Aspect oriented programming. When the AOP jar file is downloaded, in that jar file, so many packages are available, so many .class files also available. Now, when the jar file is downloaded, Maven, remember carefully guys, theoretically we need to understand. When the Maven downloaded the jar file, that jar file, it added to project build path. It added that jar file to project build path. Whenever we run our application, all the .class files available in the jar file will be loaded to JVM memory. Are you guys getting my point? In our project, some classes we are developing, those classes will be compiled into .class file. So whenever I run my program, JVM will load the .class files into its memory. So our project classes will be loaded. What about the classes available in the jar file? Also loaded. The jars which are in the build path, those jar file contains several .class files. Those .class files also will be loaded to JVM memory. Our project .class file, jar files, .class files also will be loaded to JVM. In our project, currently, I am not using AOP. I'm not using AOP. Is there any use of loading the AOP classes into JVM? Unnecessarily memory will be wasted. In the JVM, unnecessarily memory will be wasted. In the JVM, there is a concept called meta space. In the JVM, there is a concept called meta space, which is used to load the .class files code. If you load so many .class files into JVM, meta space memory will be completed. Your project will run into out of memory problem. So unwanted dependencies should not be available in the build path. If you add so many dependencies in the build path, load will increase on the meta space, project will run into out of memory problem. So now tell me, AOP is required for this project or AOP not required for this project? AOP not required for that project. Am I asking the Maven to download the AOP? No, Maven is acting proactive. Maven is proactive. I added context. Along with the context, Maven downloaded AOP and added to build path. If I am using AOP in the project, no problem. But I am not using the AOP. When I am not using the AOP, why that AOP jar file should be there in the build path? That is unwanted dependency, unused dependency. In the project, we should not keep unused dependencies in the build path. What is the problem if I keep unused dependencies in the build path? Unnecessarily, that dependency classes will be loaded to JVM meta space. Memory will be wasted in the JVM. Are you guys getting my point? How to resolve this problem? Am I adding to delete it? There is a concept called dependency exclusion. What is that concept? dependency exclusion. I need to tell to Maven, hey Maven, when I am adding context, you are downloading AOP. I want context, but I don't want AOP. I need to give the information to the Maven. Are you guys getting my point? So that concept is called dependency exclusion. I added context dependency. Along with the context, we are getting AOP also. I don't want AOP, but I want context. Suppose, for example, if I remove the context, then what will happen? Everything will be deleted. Everything, when I remove the context dependency from the pom.xml, everything is deleted. I don't want to delete everything. I want to delete only AOP. Now see, when I add context dependency in the pom.xml, see Maven dependencies came, AOP dependency came, and beans dependency came, context dependency came, core expression JCL. Now let us see how to configure exclusion in the Maven. How to configure exclusion in the Maven. To configure the exclusion, inside the dependency tag, exclusions tag is available. Inside the exclusion tag we are going to write. Inside the exclusion, group ID, artifact ID I need to write. What is the group ID of the Spring? org.spring. What is artifact ID? AOP. Now I am configuring AOP as a exclusion. Now save the file. When I save the file in the Maven dependencies, can you see here AOP available, AOP not available? AOP not available, but still context is available, AOP not available. As a programmer, it is our responsibility to understand which dependencies we are using in the project, which dependencies we are not using in the project. If any dependency we are not using in the project, we have to exclude from the pom.xml. How to exclude a dependency from the pom.xml? By using this, we can exclude. Exclusion tag we need to write. By using this exclusion tag, within the context dependency, I want to exclude the AOP. Like this, we need to write exclusions. So now, suppose I want to exclude spring beans also. Can I exclude that? Yes, we can exclude that spring beans also. Are you guys getting my point? Yes. And there is another concept called Maven dependency scope is available. There is another concept called Maven dependency scope is available. Dependency scope represents when we want to add the jars to the project build path. Now I am adding so many dependencies in the project. Spring dependency will be available. Hibernate dependency will be available. JUnit dependency will be available. When I will use the JUnit, what is the purpose of JUnit? What is the purpose of JUnit? JUnit dependency used for only testing purpose. That means Maven should add JUnit dependency when test goal is executing. When the Maven is executing the test goal, then only it has to load the JUnit dependency. When my project is running, do I need JUnit? When my project is running, do I need JUnit? To reduce the burden on the JVM, whatever the dependencies we are adding, for the dependency, we can specify scope also. What is the purpose of the scope? What is the purpose of Maven dependency scope? Come on, guys. What is the purpose of scope? Scope is used to specify when Maven should load the dependency into build path. Are you getting my point? Now, do I need to load every dependency at the compilation, at the runtime, at the testing? Not required, right? Some dependencies I want only at the compilation time. Some dependencies I want only at the runtime. Some dependencies I want only at the testing time. So which dependency you want to use at which phase? that can be specified by using Maven dependency scope. Now, if you see, when I create a Maven project from the CMD, we got a pom.xml. Go to this pom.xml. Can you see here what is the scope available for the JUnit? What is the scope available for the JUnit? Test scope is available. What is the meaning of test scope? What is the meaning of test scope? That JUnit dependency should be loaded when the Maven test goal is executing. When the Maven test goal is executing, then only it should be loaded. Once the Maven test is executed, I don't need that JUnit dependency. Similarly, we can specify scope as a compile. We can specify scope as a compile. What is the meaning of scope is a compile? When my project compile goal is executing, then only I need to load that dependency. Similarly, there is a scope called runtime. There is a scope called runtime. What is the meaning of scope runtime? When my project is in the running phase, then only that dependency should be loaded. And there is another scope called provided. There is another scope called provided. That means somebody will provide the dependency when our project is executing. Simple example, servlet API jar file. Now, when my project is compiling, I need the servlet API. When my project is executing, I don't need that because Tomcat server will provide that dependency. So whenever we are adding servlet dependency in the pom.xml, we will specify the scope as a provided. At the compilation, I need that. But in the runtime, Tomcat server will provide the dependency required for the project. So when you want the dependency for compilation but not for execution, then you will go for a scope called provided scope. Are you able to follow this? And there is one more scope called system. There is one more scope called system. System scope nothing but I want to load the dependency from some directory in my computer. But generally we don't use that in the real time, but that option is available. In my project, there is a D directory. In that D directory, the dependencies are available. I want to load from there. Then you can go for system scope. Like this, there are several scopes available for the Maven dependencies. What is the first one? Compile, then runtime, then provided, then test, then system. Like this dependency scopes available in the Maven. Can you tell me what is the purpose of dependency scope in the Maven? What is the purpose of dependency scope in the Maven? Dependency scope is used to specify when Maven should load the dependency into the build path. When I specify dependency as a test, then what will happen? When I specify dependency as a test, then what will happen? Maven will load the dependency in the test phase. When the test goal is executing, then only the dependency will be loaded. What is the purpose of compile phase? When the Maven project is compiling, then only the dependency will be loaded. What is the meaning of runtime? The dependency will be loaded when the project is in the running mode. What is the meaning of provided? During the compilation, I need that, but during the execution, server will provide that dependency. What is the meaning of a Maven dependency exclusion? I want to remove some child dependencies which came from the transdiv dependency. Then we can go for Maven exclusion. What is the Maven multi-module project? Parent project and child project. Whenever I execute some goal on the parent project, automatically it will apply for the child modules also. Are you clear? Right. Do you know what is central repository? What is central repository? Central repository will be maintained by Apache organization where the project related libraries will be available. What is local repository? Right. In our system, one repository will be created in the .m2. That is called local repository. When I'm typing, then only it is going. Okay, fine. So we have seen what is the goals of that, what is the repository of that, what is the local repository. The local repository will be created in our system, which is the .m2, right? What is the remote repository? Company will be creating a repository. Once you join in the company, they will give you settings.xml file for you. What will be there in the settings.xml? What will be there in the settings.xml? Your remote repository information will be available. So in your system, Maven conf folder will contain settings.xml. You delete that settings.xml, you paste the settings.xml which is given by the company. Then your Maven project can connect to the remote repository to download the dependencies. Are you clear? In that settings.xml, remote repository details will be available and credentials also will be available. We need to configure the credentials. They will give you settings.xml with the remote repository. You just to configure that settings.xml in your Maven path. So where that settings.xml file available? In the Maven conf directory. So if you add the company given settings.xml, your Maven project will connect to remote repository. It will download the dependencies. Are you clear with my point? Now, so we executed Maven goals from the CMD. Similarly, can we execute Maven goals from the command prompt also, sorry, from the project IDE also? Yes, right click on the project, run as. Here Maven goals are available. Maven build, Maven build. When I execute Maven build, it is asking which goals that you want to execute. I'm giving the goal as clean package. What is the meaning of clean package? Delete the target folder, compile, test plus package. Click on apply. If I don't want to execute the test cases in the project now, there is option called skip test. When I execute skip test, what will happen? Test cases will not execute. So this also will be asked in the real time. So my project, I want to package by using package goal. When I am packaging, today, I don't want to execute the test cases. Package internally executing the test goal, but I don't want to execute the test cases. I want to compile and I want to package directly. Then you can choose the option called skip test option. Click on run. Now, we detected that you have, remind me later. Go to the console. What happened now? Build success. So here, can I execute Maven goals from the IDE also? You can execute from the command prompt. You can execute from the IDE also. Generally, as a developer, we will do operations from the IDE itself. We'll create the project here. We will add the dependencies in the pom.xml. We will update the Maven project. Why we are doing the Maven project update? To download the dependencies once again. If any dependencies are not downloaded properly, then we will right click on the project and Maven, there is an option called update project. There is an option called force update. Click on OK. Then Maven will connect to the repository, will download the dependencies. I want to execute Maven goal. How to execute the Maven goal? Right click, run as. Maven build option is available. When I execute Maven build option, then what will happen? Whatever the previous goal I executed, it is executing the same goal again. We can choose which goal you want to execute. Clean, compile, test, package, install. What is the meaning of install? What is the meaning of install? Upload the project package into repository. Currently, it is uploading to local. Tomorrow in future, Nexus or JFrog in the remote repository we are going to upload. That is called artifact of the project. Project jar file or war file is called as project artifact. Are you clear? So with this, we completed our discussion related to Maven. So Gradle, we are going to discuss in the coming classes. First, we need to do some projects by using Maven. So tomorrow, I'm going to start with GitHub. So as a developer, how we need to integrate the code in the GitHub, how to perform operations with the GitHub, all those things we are going to understand. Are you able to follow me? Yeah. So what we covered in the Maven so far, can we summarize now? Yes. What we learnt in the Maven, can we summarize? I will give the updated notes for that, guys. Yep. So what we understood? What is build tool? Can you tell me what is a build tool? Which is used to automate build process of the project. What is the build process? What is the build process? Compiling the project, downloading the dependency, execute the test cases, package the project as a jar or var, upload the artifact to the repository. That is also comes under build process. Now, what is a Maven? We understand what are the build tools available in the market. What are the build tools available in the market? Earlier, Ant available, then later Maven, now Gradle. So Maven, Gradle are using in the industry. Ant is outdated. Ant is outdated. Now, what are the build tools available in the market? We understood. Then we understood Maven introduction. So can you give some points about the Maven? Yeah, come on. Come on, some points about the Maven. Maven is a build tool given by Apache organization. Maven is developed by using Java. Maven is used for Java projects only. Maven is used for Java projects only. It is developed by using Java. To work with the Maven, Java should be installed in the computer. And Maven is free software. It is used to automate build process of the Java application. Then we understood Maven setup. How we have done the Maven setup? Maven home we have configured. Maven path we have configured. Java home, Java path. Maven home, Maven path. Then after we understood Maven terminology. Okay, what terminology we know about the Maven now? Archetype, group ID, artifact ID, version, packaging, dependency, goals, scope, repository. We know everything about the Maven. Now, can you tell me what are Maven dependencies? Can you tell me what are Maven dependencies? The libraries that are required for our project, we are calling as Maven dependencies. Now, do you know Maven project folder structure? Do you know Maven project folder structure? Yes. SRC main Java will be available. SRC test Java, main resources, test resources, form.xml. What is the purpose of form.xml? Form stands for project object model. It is used to configure the dependencies of the project. Can we customize the jar file name by using package goal? By using final name in the build tag. Project structure we understood and we discussed about form.xml file. Form.xml file is called as Maven configuration file. What are the dependencies we want? We can configure in the form.xml. Do you know what are the Maven goals? What is the purpose of Maven goals? Yeah, Maven goals are used to perform build process of the project. Can you tell me the goals that we have used? Clean, compile, test, package, install. Yes, we understood Maven goals. Then we understood Maven repositories. Now we understood Maven repository. Repository is a place where all the jars will be available. Three types of repositories: local, remote, and central. By default, it will search in the local. If available, add to the build path. If not available, connect it to the central. Download from central to local. I want to connect to remote repository. Settings.xml file changes are required. In the company who will give the settings.xml, our project admin team will give the settings.xml so that our project can connect to remote repository. Then next one, we understood Maven dependency exclusion. What is the meaning of dependency exclusion? Removing unwanted child dependencies from the project build path. So if I keep unwanted dependencies, what is the problem? Project metaspace will be completed. Out of memory problems we are going to face. So we should not keep unwanted dependencies in the build path. Dependency exclusion we understood. Then we discussed about dependency scope in the Maven. What is the meaning of dependency scope? At what phase I want to load the dependency to the build path? Scope, compile, runtime, test, provided, system, like that. There are several scopes available. And we discussed about Maven multi-module project. So what is the purpose of Maven multi-module project? Creating a project with the parent and child relation is called as Maven multi-module project. Parent project packaging type should be form. When I execute some goal on the parent project, automatically it is applicable for the child project. Child projects are called as modules in the Maven project. Able to follow me? Yes. So are you comfortable with all these concepts? Yeah, fine. With this, we are done with Maven. That is a build tool. Tomorrow, we are going to start with GitHub. So that is very important for every developer. Every day, whatever the code we are writing, we should store in the GitHub. So how to create the GitHub account and how to perform operations in the GitHub, we are going to understand. Before coming to tomorrow's session, I want everybody to create an account in the github.com. Okay. So go to github.com. You can create the free account in the GitHub. You can sign up to the GitHub. It is free of cost. No need to pay the money. You need to download Git client also. First to create the account in the GitHub. Once account is created, then you need to download Git client software. Git account should be created. Git client should be downloaded. By using Git client, we will perform operations with the GitHub that we are going to discuss in the tomorrow session. Is that fine? Yeah, thank you guys. We'll meet in the today evening class. Yeah, online students, any questions? Can you please type in the chat box? Which domain you are going to cover in the project? It is an insurance domain. Okay. I joined today. I'm new student. Previous videos, notes, please provide. Who is this? Nihar. So please complete your enrollment process to get the access for notes and videos. How many classes can taken in this course? Already 5-6 classes, 4 classes completed, I think so. 4 classes completed. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Today is the 5th class. Right. Total 5 classes completed. The class notes I'm uploading to our website and backup videos also we have provided. Right. I will update the Maven notes, guys. I will give that in the portal. So give me another half an hour. I will update the latest notes in the portal. Videos also uploaded. Yeah, I will add those things also. Okay. Notes. Yeah. The people who completed the enrollment, they will get the notes access today. Videos access also. So tomorrow class on the GitHub concept will be available. How to do the enrollment. So we'll share the enrollment details now. Do I have that? 1 minute. Yeah. Enrollment process. Yeah. You guys, do you have any questions now? No. 8,000. It is 12,000. The course code is 23 JRTP. Okay. Yeah. People who did not complete enrollment, they can complete it now. Let me share that. Stop the recording.